Now, your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So now we're looking at an air temperature of 87 degrees with a feels like temperature of 97, dew point value up there at 96, excuse me, that'd be amazing, at 76. It just feels like the day before impacts from a hurricane, doesn't it? I mean, it just has that synth feel in the air, that sticky kind of humid air. Southeast wind brisk at 20 has been high all morning long. In fact, we've had some gusts up near 30, so it's impressive wind field, and the storm is still going to get stronger. I think we'll be in that southeast wind, though, right straight through tonight and into tomorrow day as well before it starts to shift to a more southwesterly direction tomorrow afternoon and evening. 30% chance of storms for today. I think we're kind of on the dry side of the storm right now, but as we progress into tomorrow, I think some of those feeder bands will be moving in here, giving us a 60% chance of showers. I don't think rainfall is going to be all that great. Latest model estimates are showing maybe an inch, maybe two of rain showers across our region, so not enough to do any really localized flooding due to rainfall. Again, I think our biggest issue will be the beach erosion issues, as well as the potential for some power outages, as well as, of course, any kind of storm surge that we do get, though there might be some good news there. We'll talk about that. Hurricane Michael, 110-mile-an-hour winds, 1 more mile per hour, and we've got a Category 3 on our hands, and we're likely to see that pretty soon. As it lifts northward, it makes its closest pass by us tonight through tomorrow morning, and then it gets closer to the coastline. At that point, it may start to weaken a little bit as it makes landfall pretty quickly, I should imagine, as it makes landfall. And the wind field then starts to bring us a more southwesterly and northwesterly direction. That may actually start to dry us out a little bit and bring us some a little bit cooler air as we head into the weekend, particularly at night. I think that's where you'll notice it, and we may see some inland temperatures by Friday or Saturday drop down into the 60s in inland areas, and coastal regions more closer to the low 70s. So it should be nice in that regard. There's our rain bands associated with the storm. Here are the rains that are just associated with the general easterly wind flow. We could catch a few of those today, and then tonight toward tomorrow morning especially, we'll see a few of those bands move onshore. One of the things we'll be watching with those bands, of course, is the possibility of some severe weather, though the chance of tornadoes is pretty low, only at about 2%. Nevertheless, the Severe Storms Prediction Center puts us in a marginal category for that. The biggest threat is to the north of us. This computer model shows the storm lifting north, and we get a few showers around, but big rainfalls are really not going to be our issue. We could get some passing stronger storms with some gusty winds, but again, we'll be monitoring this for the potential of quick spin down, short-lived tornadoes. That is always a possibility with landfalling systems, but the greatest threat will be to the north, as will the heaviest rainfall to the north of us. As far as severe weather threat, as I mentioned, we're in kind of a marginal category, which is the lowest category of severe weather threat, with a 2% chance of tornadic development. Wind speeds, well, they're coming down in terms of probability of stronger winds. We're now in a category here that's in the 20% or less chance of seeing some tropical storm force winds. I think winds tomorrow will likely be in the vicinity of 20, 25 miles per hour, with some gusts as high as perhaps 35 miles an hour right along the coastline, Anna Maria and such. And potentially we could see some stronger winds, but computer models continue to suggest that those winds stay offshore. Probably the strongest of the winds occurring overnight tonight, but particularly tomorrow morning through about 6 p.m. tomorrow night. As it lifts northward, we start to get more of that onshore flow, which is where our issue might come in with any kind of storm surge. We'll watch that, but by that time, perhaps the storm will be a little further away from us. And right now, some of the computer models are suggesting that the storm surge might not be as great as originally anticipated, but the still official line is that with our storm surge watch in effect in Tampa Bay and points along Anna Maria Island, Anna Maria Sound, the inlets to Longboat Key, Upper Longboat Key, it could still see anywhere from a 2 to 4 foot storm surge. So we'll watch that, but some of the computer models again suggest it might not be quite that bad. Southeast wind at 20, gusting to 30 this afternoon. Watch it gust to 40. We're talking about 10-foot waves by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. Rip current advisories, high surf advisories, as well as small craft advisories. Obviously a terrible time to go boating. Stay in port. Anchor your boats. Today's the day to do that. Tomorrow you won't want to as the winds pick up. By the time we get to Friday, the sun will be back out, and we'll look for some drier air to filter in, pushing nighttime temperatures into the low 70s.